Hey guys, if you're listening to this intro, thank you. I hope you don't skip through. This is very important. Please listen to me. I've got an explanation to make, something I forgot to mention in my actual script. There is a lot of spoilers in this thing. If you haven't read the manga, please don't watch it if you are waiting for this story to be animated, or this arc even, because I don't want to ruin anything for you. This is, in my opinion, the best arc in Super, and I would hate to ruin it for people. Even though I'm very vague throughout the whole story, there's some bits I have to cover to get the points across with this arc. So if you haven't read the manga, first of all, go read the manga. It's great. And give some support to Toyotaro. This is some of his best work, and I really enjoyed it when it was coming out. It's much better to read now that everything is completed, and I'm already considering buying the volumes when I can get them. I've got pretty much all of Super, so yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah, please don't watch it if you don't want to be spoiled. I would hate to ruin someone's reception of this arc. First of all, I might not do it justice. There's a lot of this arc I might have missed out. Keep in mind, I wrote notes as the arc was going through, just so I had notes to refer to whenever it comes down to it, because I like making my life a bit easier. But this is the arc I am 100% not too sure about. I know I say I don't know some arcs amazingly. I think my worst one before this was the Red Ribbon arc. That is the one I don't remember anything from that arc. But this is literally my worst one because I've only read it once and I've started rereading it. So I'm going off notes I've kept when it was originally coming out. I might not do it justice, and if I've missed things, please let me know so I can make up for it and update things. Don't let me ruin this arc for you. I'm not great at this, and I would hate to ruin someone's ideas of how good this arc is. I hope I'm not overselling it as well. Like, it is a good arc. I enjoyed it, and all my friends enjoyed it, and from what I can tell, a majority of the world enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, so please, if you don't want spoilers, click off the video. I don't mind, but leave a like anyway. I don't often ask for them. But click on, and if you listen to this, leave a like, and if you don't want to watch it, just leave. But if you do, stick around. I think I've done a half decent job. I'm happy with what I've done, and I hope everyone enjoys. I don't know what to say. Yeah, listen to me who recorded this the other day. Have a good time, guys. Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'll be doing the next part for What If Chichi Became a Saiyan. Last time we saw how differently the Goku Black arc would go. As a whole, the arc went vastly different from canon, with Videl's biology being a major factor in this and helping in the final battle against Merge Zamasu in the present timeline. The future was saved thanks to this, and things lined up a bit more like normal. Let's see how things happen as we head forward. Now we join our heroes having a bit of downtime. No one's off training with Whis at the moment. Thanks to Bulma being pregnant, so both Trunks and Vegeta have come to spend some time on Earth to keep an eye on her. The likes of Goten has recently started attending Orange Star High School. Much like his older brother, Goten isn't really doing this as his own choice. However, Chichi has asked him to do it, and also it would be a good opportunity for him to make some more friends his age. And Goten isn't overly enjoying the whole experience and wants to get back to training with Whis. Now, with Goku and Chichi deciding to spend time on Earth as well, after all, they've got a lot to do here, and also it feels unfair to make Goten just spend time on his own at home. So they've come back in order to not only spend some more time on Earth and with Goten, but also to get some new training in with their new training partner, the Saiyan Videl, alongside Gohan and Piccolo, who the pair haven't actually managed to train with in a few, well, months. Chichi, seeing the opportunity while they have some downtime on Earth, decides there's another activity she wants to get up to, other than training. Well, it could be considered training. This depends. Time has passed, a year and a bit have gone by, and quite a bit have changed. Of course, the Saiyans have kept training, and this has led to them growing massively strong. In fact, even though they haven't been spending too much time with the likes of Whis, they've still grown massively. Like Whis had stated, it is just as effective for them to be training against one another in a spar as it is for them to train with him. Meaning that they have still grown massively. With the mass amount of Saiyans on Earth, it has been a pretty effective year of training. However, there's probably something more interesting people want to know about. With a year a bit of passing, Goku and Chichi have had another child. Yeah, it's a bit later on in their life, but Chichi got a bit nostalgic seeing Goten go to high school, and she saw an opportunity and jumped it. With the pair having a baby girl, Goku and Chi-Chi's closer relationship has led to them having another child. Chi-Chi's Saiyan biology would push her to get another kid as well. And like I said, she felt a bit nostalgic after watching Goten go to school and decided that she would be okay to go for another attempt. She accepts the fact that she won't be able to spend too much time with Whis. However, she also kind of understands that Goku would spend time with her and the kid as well. Goku isn't a type of person to abandon his children. I will not accept any jokes in the comments. I will be very angry and cross with you all. Now, the name for this child I decided to go with is Goshi. A mixture of the normal Go for the Sun family and using Ushi as the gender neutral name for a cow, going with the whole Chi-Chi being milk and Ox King. I thought I was pretty smart with this name, I'll be honest. I like it and it kind of works. I think this is the best one I've come up with the whole time I've made What Ifs. Anyway, with the pair having had a child, they haven't had a lot of time to train with Whis. However, they do stop by for a few days every now and again thanks to Videl and Gohan offering to look after Goshi. It's pretty weird for them to look after their... well, for Gohan, his sister, and for Videl, her sister-in-law. And it's pretty strange to say that they're actually younger than, well, Pan. But they don't mind and actually quite like Goshi, so they enjoy this. All Saiyans have continued their training, and for the most part, none of them have visited Whis as often as they would want to, but they have seen a lot of growth during this time. And they are much stronger than they were since the battle against Merged. Now one day, Goku and Chichi are at home alone, with Goten off at school, and they're about to start off their normal training session for the day, but a call off Bulma asking for the help of the pair gets them rushing over as fast as they can. They fly over to Capsule Corp with Goshi, where they find Vegeta and a weird alien in strange uniform. In fact, there's a pair of aliens in strange uniform, with both the aliens introducing themselves. One introducing himself as Jacko, an old friend of Bulma's sister, and he's popped by to ask a favour. And another one introducing himself as Miras, and he asks for the pair's help, with the agent saying how he originally came here looking for Boo, but heard from Bulma and Vegeta that the Margin was defeated years ago by the Saiyans, and now he is hoping for their help stopping another ancient evil. With him going on to explain stuff about Moro, the trio of pure-blooded Saiyans hear this, and they offer to help out, with the three getting ready to head off. He looks over to Bulma, asking if she would mind looking after Goshi and explaining to Goten where they've gone. However, a shout from Trunks explains that he'll go run and tell Goten now, and also inform the others of what's happening. With all of this done, Bulma agrees to look after Goshi, and they all start heading off into space. Now, they spend time trying to figure out where Moro could be heading, but after a while they soon figure out where he's heading would be Namek, which in this timeline hasn't ever been attacked or moved or even visited by the Z Fighters. So this is new land, with everyone kind of excited to see this, and the Saiyans soon arriving. They arrive on the planet and start taking everything in, with them getting a good sense of Moro's energy for the first time. This makes the three feel a bit underwhelmed, however the energy itself seems kind of scary. It's not so much for the power, but how it feels. It's horrifying. However, the group head off towards the power of Moro, with them arriving in front of the old goat. He's currently in the middle of his meal of the village he was originally attacking in canon. With him having killed some of the Namekians here already, with the group meeting the old wizard who laughs at the sight of the group, and laughs a bit more seeing the Galactic Patrol symbol on the three. With him going to munch down on another Namekian, however a quick save with some amazingly fast movement from Vegeta saves the young Namekian, with the Saiyan saying how he will be taking this fight before rushing at Moro. With these events actually going fairly similar, not a lot changes with the inclusion of Chi-Chi in this timeline. The only notable difference would be that the likes of Vegeta and the other Saiyans are slightly stronger. Boo wouldn't be here to show up and help later on, so this part of the arc goes relatively normal. Moro gets his wishes a lot easier as well, and all prisoners soon show up. Group low, they need to make a retreat. This is a fight they won't win. With Moro here, it's just a downhill battle, especially with his newfound vigor and power. So everyone starts getting ready to leave. Vegeta, like normal, manages to escape with Ikro and heads off to Yardrat. However, with Goku not knowing the instant transmission in this timeline, he, Chi-Chi, Beerus and Jacko don't have an easy job of escaping and actually have to spend a while fighting off prisoners. Beerus is considering showing off his powers to get the group out of here. However, a shout from Shin, who is teleported in front of the group, to take his hand, with no one hesitating to grab the Kai. They all grab hold and teleport away to the world of Kais. But the group is healed up fully, and here is where some changes start to happen. Goku, like normal, has a theory about Beerus, asking the agent if they could have a quick sparring match. Likes of Shin and even Chi-Chi find this pretty weird, but Beerus agrees. Goku and Beerus have a quick spar, where Goku tests out the power of the agent, and Goku's theory is soon tested correct. Goku in this timeline may not have ever used Ultra Instinct, but his knowledge on it might be a bit vaster. You see, having already learnt better control over God Ki, and having less time having to have it taught to them, thanks to the fact they got the God form early, it meant we could teach a few more fundamentals about Ultra Instinct. Goku doesn't know a lot, and he definitely wouldn't pick up on the signs of Beerus having it, but something would be slowly clicking in Goku's head. He's not fully there yet, but he's slowly piecing things together. And once learning the strength of Beerus, he decides he would like to learn under him, thinking he would be able to learn some useful things from the agent, and also grow a lot in power. So Goku asks Beerus to be trained by him. Beerus happily agrees, having taken a liking to Goku and Chi-Chi, and he believes he might be able to teach these two something which will help them grow massively. With Beerus agreeing, Goku then looks over to his wife, saying if she'll be coming along. Chi-Chi gives a bit of a weird look as she looks over to Goku, saying how she thinks it might be better to learn some magic. It might be able to fight Moro to some degree, and she gives a look over to Shin, asking if it would be possible for him to teach her some magic. The Kai responds that he could teach her what he knows, with Chi-Chi looking back at her husband, saying how she will be training with Shin. She believes fighting fire with fire might be the best way of taking down Moro, and also this way she can keep an eye on Earth and warn the others of the threat of Moro now out in space. Goku hears this and nods his head, however he's a bit sad. He won't get to train with Chi-Chi, but he knows that her idea is good, and he believes his idea might work as well. And this will be the first time that these two have actually been separated since Chi-Chi became a Saiyan. It was quite a sad moment for the pair. Of course, there are small bits of time when they haven't been around one another, but this will be the longest time they've spent apart. They do share a hug and even share a kiss, which is quite intimate for Goku, with the likes of Goku, Beerus, and Jacko all grabbing onto Shin, who drops them off at Galactic Patrol HQ. Shortly after Goku and Beerus have arrived, they head off towards the hyperbolic time chamber Beerus knows of and begin their training, like normal. However, instead of trying to relearn Ultra Instinct, Beerus is having to build him up from the fundamentals. Whis has instilled some of the knowledge into Goku, but everything has to be built up, including unlocking the form once. With Beerus having a bit of a task ahead of him, he starts getting to the training. As for Vegeta, he starts going through some very similar training like in canon, with him getting put through the Ardratian training. In this timeline, he doesn't have the goal to beat Goku in terms of learning the techniques, but he's still pushing himself hard. Now, as for Chi-Chi, once Shin comes back from dropping the others off, she asks to be taken to Earth. She wants to warn the others a bit more before anything bad happens, and so they can begin their training, with her arriving not too long after Piccolo had captured the convicts. With Chi-Chi learning how the convicts have let out the stress signal, she starts explaining the whole situation with Moro, saying how he may not know where they're from, but there's a big chance with all these massive powers on the planet that he might show up here. They're all training to defeat him, but it's going to take some time. With Piccolo hearing this, he asks where Goku and Vegeta are, with her explaining everything in more detail, before explaining how she'll be with the Kais trying to learn some way to counter Moro, and soon Shin shows up and takes her back. Chi-Chi tells Piccolo once again to start training everyone and round up the fighters. Hearing this, Piccolo does start to do so. He rounds up the fighters he can get. Goten, Gohan, Videl, Trunks, Krillin, and Piccolo is all present at the lookout. Piccolo explains the current situation to the five, with Trunks having already sort of heard bits and pieces. They all agree to start doing some training, and Goten even plans to take some time off school just to get this done. Gohan starts even considering training up some of his more powerful students to make it so they have some more backup in the fight. If there's loads of convicts coming, it might not be a bad idea to get some of his students ready to fight. With this going through his head, they start planning out how to deal with the possible threat of an upcoming battle, with nothing interesting happening up until the point 7-3's team arrives on the planet. With him having taken the ability of the Hedgehog teleporter from the planet they stopped at, however, in this timeline, it's going to go slightly different. Instead of Piccolo having to hold off the three on his own, the likes of Goten, Trunks, Gohan, Videl, and Krillin are all here and step up with Piccolo. Like normal, the prison convicts will try to deal with the Masserini gang. With Piccolo stepping up and defending them, 7-3 is also stopped here from making contact with Piccolo. After hearing from Jacko that this person can steal the powers of people upon touching them, the group understand he is possibly the biggest threat in front of them.
Goten, knowing this, activates his Super Saiyan Blue, starts rushing up towards 7-3. Goten lands one blow and sends 7-3 flying away. Goten looks over to his friends, telling them to deal with the others as he rushes off, chasing after the ragdolling 7-3. Very quickly, the other two warriors get overwhelmed by a group of Super Saiyan gods, Piccolo and the Krillin, and soon Jacko and Trunks start tying them up. And over with Goten and his fight against 7-3, it's going very well for the boy. He hasn't been hit yet and is having fun beating into the bio android. However, Goten pulls back a bit, not wanting to kill 7-3, and this gives the alien a chance he needs, with him then activating one of the abilities he's stored away, the ability to copy Moro, something he had grabbed just in case. With 7-3 starting to take the energy of the things of Earth, with Goten not realising at first he is losing energy, and by the time he has, he begins to panic. 7-3 starts winning in this fight, with the others being able to sense how Goten is in trouble. They begin to rush over to him, and arrive seeing Goten on the back foot. The likes of Gohan goes to turn to blue. However, he can't access the power. With the same confused, he rushes over to help his brother, alongside the other fighters. With them all dogpiling 7-3, however, the android has taken enough energy to hold his own off against them pretty well, with him currently starting to slowly win the fight. A shout from his teammate, who managed to untie themselves, saying how Moro wants to leave this planet. 7-3 understands, gives all the energy back he had stolen, and makes a portal with everyone escaping. Things here go normal for a while, with Moro declaring how they will head back to Earth in a few months. And over with the heroes, things begin to go normal, but I'll give a brief rundown of what happens during this time. The Earth group begins some intense training, this group being the likes of Piccolo, Goten, Gohan, Videl, Trunks, Tien, Yamcha, Roshi, Chiaotzu, 1817, and a few of Gohan's students all get into some very intense training on the lookout. Some students of Gohan's find this to be a great pleasure since they have heard of the temple just never been, so they are happy to be taking part in some good training. Some of them are also shocked at the power of the other fighters, as they've never seen anything like this. Over with Goku and Miras, the pair have gotten close during their time in the time chamber. Like normal, Goku having learnt a lot about Ultra Instinct from Miras, and Whis having both told him some good stuff. He is making good progress towards the form, however isn't quite able to access it on command. Miras guessing that he might need a push to get the form, he begins thinking that the battle against Moro should do the trick. He spends more time helping Goku learn about the form during this time. Over with Vegeta's training, his training hasn't changed at all from canon. He's still learning Force Spirit Fission, so nothing new for the Prince. Now the most interesting part out of all of this is Chichi. He is currently learning some bits of magic and also learning an ability to counter Moro's energy stealing. Remember, the old Grand Supreme Kai, the one absorbed by Boo, had an ability to counter it, and even though he isn't here to teach it, however, I'm confident that Shin or Kibito would be able to teach it to her. Now, she isn't just doing this, she is also spending some time using the Z-Sword to get some training and, just to help get some more power behind her. And it would not take her long to get used to the sword, after all, she is years ahead of Canon Gohan. They would test the strength to see how useful the sword could be against Moro, with Shin thinking that it could be really good. The way they test it is using a block of catching, and Chichi goes to cut it, the sword breaks, releasing Elder Kai, who explains what happened to him and who he is, and then he gets caught up on what's been happening in the universe since he's been sealed away. With him hearing the whole problem that the group is going through, and hearing how the woman is trying to learn magic, he offers to teach her some things for a smooch. But a quick hit over the head from Chi-Chi knocks some sense into the Kai. As both Shin and Elder Kai teach to Saiyan how to use magic, she learns the ability to counter Mora's energy, stealing capabilities as well. She also knows how to make blocks of catching. With her having seen what it did to the sword, she thinks it could be useful, and also continued to train herself, and managing to get a good grip on magic during this time. Now, time does pass pretty fast. Soon the day of Mora's attack on Earth begins, and the Galactic Patrol kick into action, with the Earth's fighters getting ready to fight as well. The likes of Goku, Vegeta and Chichi are not present at the beginning of the assault, and the Dragon team don't know where they are, but they are willing to fight without them. Now, I would be honest, I could go into some detail here. However, the team of Goten, Gohan, Trunks, Videl, Piccolo, Krillin, Yamcha, Chiaotzu, Tien, Roshi, and some low-level fighters from Gohan's school who have been trained by, pretty much them for the last few months, means that even though Gohan's students aren't incredibly strong, they can deal with low-level prisoners, and the rest of the team can deal with the bigger threats. So, by the time the prison convicts arrive and get off the ships, their assault ends pretty much there. There are some big threats, of course, people such as Sangenbo and Yanbu, but they are dealt with relatively fast. Don't get me wrong, the Saiyans and the group are still caught up in fights. There is more prisoners than they were expecting, but they aren't being slowed down. Literally, they will start a fight and end it pretty fast. Now, Goten, during his whole fight, has been keeping an eye out for 7-3. He wants a rematch. Hopefully he can win this time. He's a lot stronger. So Goten has been keeping an eye out and eventually gets his shot at the android, with him jumping up to his Super Saiyan Blue and rushing over to 7-3 once again, with 7-3 holding his own quite well, and the two engage in combat. Now, at the start, Goten clearly has a lead. His Super Saiyan Blue form has given him a massive advantage. All of a sudden, 7-3 suddenly gets coated in a red aura. Goten's confused at what's happening, which is when he sees the gem on 7-3's head, showing the image of Videl, who he managed to touch during the fight they had all those months ago, and now has the ability to get pretty much a god level multiplier from this. This leading to 7-3 being able to fight off against Goten much more, and this leads to a level fight. The android has also got stronger through eating planets, using Mora's ability, with the two locked in a duel currently. With it being a massive stalemate, both fighters are going all out. 7-3 is trying to end it fast so he doesn't drain all of his time using the Videl gem, and Goten's trying to end it so he can get on and hopefully go deal with Moro, also not wanting to drain through all of his ki. The other fighters are distracted by other convicts. However, Trunks has managed to find a chance to sneak off. He's heading over towards Moro. He wants to end this stuff here and now, so he challenges the goat to a fight. With Moro happy to agree, he climbs out of his ship. Trunks having challenged him for two reasons. One, he believes he has the power easily to win. Being able to sense Moro's energy, he hopes he can do this. And number two, he wants a good fight. Moro shows off his abilities, with Trunks being a bit overwhelmed. However, he powers up to his Super Saiyan Blue form, with him and Moro fighting it out, with him having to go all out to try and keep up against the old goat, with Moro realising that he can take a lot of energy off the boy, and Trunks feeling his energy start to get drained, he begins to push himself even harder. However, he is slowly losing ground. The likes of Gohan, Piccolo and Videl, and Goten all see struggling that Trunks is going through, and they all want to go over and help the boy. The likes of Goten is stuck in his combat with 7-3. However, Gohan, Videl and Piccolo rush over to help the boy. The Earthlings say how they'll deal with the other convicts and rush off to deal with them. Now, with Goten being distracted by the battle Trunks is currently going through, he doesn't realise when 7-3 switches his ability to have the same powers as Moro. He does this so he can take some energy off Goten and hopefully turn this fight into a guaranteed victory. It takes Goten a little bit to notice that 7-3 has swapped up his abilities, but once he does, he begins fighting much more seriously, and the fight is once again in Goten's favour for a short while. However, slowly draining Goten's energy is giving 7-3 the advantage once again. Goten, not wanting to lose, begins pushing himself as hard as he humanly can, as 7-3 starts taking a lot of energy from the young boy. Now over with the others, they are losing ground against Moro. He's able to take the energy from the group, and with this being such a strong group, Moro is able to get a lot more energy off them. He is having to fight quite hard at the start. After all, there is a lot of them and they're all very strong. However, he is able to do this thanks to getting a lot more energy from the Saiyans on Namek. Now, eventually, Moro starts winning the fight very easily, and the group are starting to think of a plan to escape. However, a familiar power soon appears, shouting out, "Back away from my family, Moro!" With the group turning to see Chichi, who has arrived with a hand from Shin, with her turning towards Sakai telling him to head off and keep an eye out for Goku's power. The Supreme Kai nods his head and disappears. Chichi rushes over to her family and friends, ignoring Moro and 7-3 altogether. With the pair having stopped fighting at the arrival of Chichi, through Moro's request, after all, he wants to see what she can do. Chichi gets everyone out of harm's way while checking on them, also putting something in Goten and Trunks' pockets before turning her attention back towards his Moro, with her declaring, "I'll make you regret ever escaping that prison." With her jumping up to her Super Saiyan Blue form and rushing at Moro, clashing against the goat. Moro is surprised at the power of the Saiyan. In only a short time she has gotten this much stronger, and is actually able to hold her own against this version of Moro. With him starting to think of taking her energy, however once he goes to do it he realises he can't do it effectively. With him trying to do so really hard but only being able to drain small bits from her. Chichi notices him struggling and she goes on to explain how she learnt a Kai trick to stop him from being able to take her energy. Moro isn't shaken because he's managed to eat a lot of energy from planets and the other fighters, and he can still fight Chichi. However, this has just led to her having a small advantage he didn't want her to have. Now, Chichi and Moro's fight is very close, and even with her new magic abilities, she is having a hard time keeping up with the goat. Keep in mind Moro has just eaten a lot of energy, and even though she is a lot stronger, this is still a lot of power to overcome. She uses blocks of catching to try to trip Moro up, and it does land some significant blows because of it, blocking off his path, taking him to the floor, all of this, giving her a few good licks in. However, Moro is clearly winning after a while. With the others sick of watching, they are about to rush in, but a freshly buffed up 7-3 stops them. With the group getting ready to fight, with Gohan shouting out for his mother that they are on their way, but they've just got to deal with this one first. However, a shout from the woman says, "Put the earrings on the opposite ears." Everyone looks confused, other than Goten and Trunks. The pair look at the earrings in their pockets for a few seconds, with Chichi shouting out, "When you put them on opposite ears, you'll fuse into one fighter. However, it's a permanent fusion. But after digging around a little bit, I've learned that you should be able to defuse using the Dragon Ball, so don't worry." The boys confused a bit, spend a second giving each other a look, but realise the situation they're in, and they put the earrings on, pulling towards one another. With a bright flash of light happening, a new fighter appears. Huh. A fusion between Goten and Trunks. Let's think. I'm guessing Trunten will do. With the fighter stretching out his hands before making a few jabs into the air. Everyone is amazed at the power they are feeling from this fighter. Keep in mind this has the mentality of a full-blooded Saiyan from Goten, mixed in with the potential of a hybrid from Trunks. Alongside this, they would have the rival boost, which would increase their power even more. Everyone, including Moro, would look amazed at the fusion. With the fusion looking over to 7-3, with this being someone they were struggling with earlier, they jump up to the Super Saiyan Blue form and throw one punch, sending the android flying for miles, it making 7-3 knock out at the same time. The fusion lets out a smirk as he announces, "That wasn't even 50% of my power. Let's see what I can do to you, Moro." with him then disappearing and reappearing right in front of Moro. He lands one punch to the face, which sends Moro skidding backwards. However, the goat manages to stabilise himself. The Fusion's impressed and says how I might have to go all out before powering up a bit. He helps Chichi up and says this power is incredible. Chichi smirks as well as they turn towards Moro. A combination of Chichi and Trunten is more than enough to deal with Moro currently. With the battle going on for a few more minutes before Moro can hardly keep going. With the likes of Truten then defusing, which takes everyone by surprise. However, at this point, Moro has been beaten to a bloody pulp. Chichi grabs the goat by the throat and announces, "Never, ever hurt my family again." With her power weirdly flaring up in this moment and her hair changing slightly, none of them can really figure out what just happened, but even Chichi feels it, and it catches her off guard a little bit. Moro, in no condition to fight, has to sit there and take it, with her then knocking the old girl out before handing him in to the Galactic Patrol. With everyone confused at what just went down, but also happy they won, they all start to celebrate, with the likes of Vegeta and Goku showing up over the span of the next hour or two, having explained what happened, and Goku sharing how Miras was an angel like Whis. So whenever they next go to visit the angel, they need to ask some more questions. Alongside this, the pair of Goku and Chichi spend some time with Goshi again. They've been away for a while and feel really bad about it, but the baby probably won't remember this, so it'll be alright. And that is probably where I'll be ending this story for now. The moral arc ends in a much easier way. No sacrifice of Miras, and a stronger team altogether. The fusion was, probably needed, otherwise Ultra Instinct Goku would have needed to come in, or Vegeta. And I feel like haven't given a win to any of the other characters, so I just thought I'd give it to one of them. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this part. Like I said, please go read the moral arc if you haven't. I don't really know what to say here, so I hope you all have a good day or a good night, and hopefully I'll see you next time.